This is I Talk, Just Listen. Everything's allegedly and also my opinion. All right, then. Let's get it. This is I Talk, Just Listen, a new channel on the scene. Trying to get to the top. I want all my viewers to be a part of the I Talk, Just Listen family. So hit that subscribe, like, and share, and comment so we can chop it up in the comment section. All right, then. Let's get it.
Some new NBC News reporting tonight is giving us more insight on a story of death and mystery and anger over an apparent lack of good police work and accountability in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm talking about the story of Dexter Wade, who we now know was killed less than a half hour after leaving his home back in March. But his family only found that out this month. Wade was struck and killed by a Jackson police car, apparently, as he tried to cross a highway nearby. And even though police knew exactly who they hit within days of that accident, officials say, his mother, Betterson Wade, would spend the next 7 months. She would spend 7 months looking for her son. It wasn't until 172 difficult days after Betterson last saw Wade that they came together again, this time at his unmarked grave in a state-run cemetery. NBC's John Shoup is the reporter with this story. John, we're glad to have you with us today. The details here are just extraordinary, right? Because essentially what happened here is this 7-month-long mystery for this family, despite police apparently, according to official accounts, knowing for months who they hit, where he was buried, and not reaching out to the family. How did this happen?
That's one of the questions that we have, is how exactly it happened. But we know some details and a sketch of what happened. It began, as you mentioned, on March the 5th when Dexter Wade, he's 37 years old, left home and never came back. It turned out not far from home, not long after he left, he was struck and killed by an off-duty Jackson police officer. A coroner's investigator arrives at the scene, takes his body back to the examination table, finds a prescription bottle of pills that has his name on it. The coroner's investigator calls the hospital where he got the pills, gets the next of kin, who's his mother, Betterson Wade, and forwards that information on to the Jackson Police Department's Accident Investigation Squad. Meanwhile, the mother, Betterson, has no idea that any of this has happened. On the 14th of March, reports him missing to the missing persons unit, and for months is checking for updates and searching for him and gets no answers. Meantime, it's not clear why, but she was never told that they had him in the morgue the entire time. So ultimately, someone figured it out within the Jackson Police Department and let her know. And that's when she realized that while she was looking for him, they had assumed in the coroner's office that he was unclaimed and arranged for him to be buried in a pauper's field. And so as you showed the pictures just earlier, a minute ago, that moment came a couple of weeks ago where she finally got to see the grave marked only with a number of where her son is buried.
I know, John, that you and the team pieced this together from interviews with his family, the coroner's investigator, court records, documents provided in response to your request, a crash report, incident reports, other documents, office records. I mean, so much of this. It took a lot of putting some puzzle pieces here just to get, I think, some sense of what happened. And yet through it all, as of tonight, have you gotten any response from the police department itself?
None. As soon as just before leaving to come talk to you, I was reaching out to the city. They're preparing some sort of response, but I'm not sure that they fully comprehend of how this mistake was made. We have notes, internal notes and documents that show what they knew. It's just not clear yet about why it was shared.
What does accountability look like for this family? Just quickly, John, what does that look like?
I think for Betterson Wade, the mother, is just somebody to acknowledge that there was a mistake. She can accept if an accident was made, but just an acknowledgement and an apology.
Okay. She just wants to be heard, it sounds like. John Shoup, thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing us the story tonight.
I would like to say, rest in peace, Dexter Wade. A black man's life ain't worth nothing these days. Ain't worth nothing. This went on for 7 months. This lady suffered. And they knew where he was at. They wanted her to suffer because of what happened back in 2019. They wanted a little payback. I'm assuming this was it. Back in 2019, Mrs. Betterstein Wade, 62-year-old brother, died after a Jackson officer slammed him to the ground. The officer was convicted of manslaughter. He was sent to prison, but he is appealing it. Her family filed a wrongful death lawsuit accusing Jackson officers of excessive force in attempting to cover up their actions and accusing the city of failing to properly train and supervise the officers. The city denied the claim and said it isn't liable for what happened. Was he really hit by a car? Or did something else happen? They had information on who he was. They had a pill bottle in his pocket with his name and address on it. Or they could have did fingerprints and found out who he was. But they chose not to. They just let him sit in the morgue without even contacting the family. And threw him in an unmarked grave like he was trash. And let the mother go on for 7 months looking for her son, stressing herself out, worrying herself to death. And they know who he was. They know who he was. But like I said, there was get back for what happened back in 2019, sending one of their fellow officers to the big house. And that is what it is. I'm tired of talking about the police. They more dirty than the dirt on the ground. Got this lady out here looking for her son when they know where he was at. Like I said before, all this stuff you're doing towards black folks, you better enjoy it while you can. When the Most High comes back, all that shit gon' end. This is I Talk, Just Listen. Hit that subscribe, like, and share, and I'm out.